I started journaling because it was a part of my curriculum when I was studying counseling psychology few years back. And actually, I journaled only because I wanted a better score. And no surprises, I fared really badly in my journaling segment, mostly because I completely missed understanding the essence of journaling. Hi, my name is Shreya and welcome to Shreya TV. If you are tuning in for the first time, welcome to my channel. Here I discuss mental wellness and executive presence tips and techniques, and I also have a segment of inspiring interviews with really amazing people who talk about their stories of courage to lead and sustain. So go check them out after this video. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? You really should. And hit the bell icon so that you do not miss any notification when I upload a video. So, what is self journaling? Well, this is purely my definition. Self journaling is a writing activity that we practice diligently and consistently over a period of time to get to the root and the heart of any problem, to get to the heart of our personality, and get to the heart of our identity. And if done right, it has the power to heal us beyond our imagination, because while journaling we have the freedom to express ourselves just the way we want without any fear of judgment from anybody whatsoever. So despite knowing these incredible benefits of journaling, why is it that so many of us are unsuccessful at its attempts? We just make kind of one or two attempts and then we lose track. So in this video, I'm just going to pick the biggest mistakes we make while journaling, and let's get to them. We carry a notion or a false idea of perfect journaling. We just think that there is a perfect journaling, and it starts with the pressure of having a picture perfect diary. And that is maybe because we do watch people or we read about people who are journaling in a very systematic format, and they have very nice looking diaries. And because we have bought into that idea and we feel that's the perfect way of doing it, whatever diary or book or notepad we have doesn't seem appealing to us. So without even starting, we reject the possibility of even completing a successful journal for the day. And that's a huge loss for us, because people who are showing pictures of perfect diaries or perfect journaling, they are showing that to us just to motivate you and me to get to the process of journaling. And pretty diaries or pretty books or journals attract everybody. Why not? But that shouldn't demotivate you to even begin the process. In fact, that's the problem with perfection, that if we hold on to perfection and we get obsessed with it, we don't even begin the process of change, which we have in our mind for so many years. So that's the big problem with perfection, and that's a big problem why journaling is so unsuccessful amongst many people. This can be daunting, especially during times when we are experiencing mood oscillations, anxiety, a feeling of loneliness, or just experiencing emotional distraught. During these times, if somebody asks me to reject or leave that feeling of loneliness or rejection and pick up journaling for 20 to 30 minutes, that's very heavy on me. Why? Because our brain cells are not used to experiencing, let's say, the happy hormones as much. And this is especially for a lot of us who do stay more stressed and anxious than happy. And that's the reason why we are used to, our cells in the brain are used to receiving a lot of cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and we do thrive on it. So if somebody asks us to leave the cortisol and instead go in for, let's say, the dopamine or serotonin or endorphin, which releases through exercise, etc., I don't want to pick that happy hormone, and my brain and my body are going to reject that because I'm not used to it. It's new to me. Just like you and I feel a little awkward starting a conversation with a stranger, the same way we get awkward switching from our thought of stress, depression, or anxiety and moving towards something that brings positivity, only because our brain is not used to receiving that hormone, which is why it gets very difficult to get onto the process of journaling for 20-30 minutes. So what I do instead, and that has worked immensely for me, I hope it works for you as well, is that don't put any time, at least in the beginning of your journaling habit. If you want to create the habit, don't fix any time for it. Just start writing. And there are days when I write just for 3 minutes, when I just write statements with with long gaps between each statement. And there are days when I journal for almost an hour or even more, and that's absolutely okay. So yes, of course, it feels good to have a structure, and which is why everybody says that you must journal for at least 15 to 20 or 30 minutes. But if you're not able to, for whatever reason, please understand that nobody is going to judge you for that. That's not your assessment. Nobody is going to question you for that. So design your time to journal just the way you want to. If one day you feel like just writing some PowerPoints of stressful thoughts or anxious thoughts, just scribble PowerPoints and leave that sheet of paper aside. And on the days when you really feel like writing a lot, go ahead and write and feel free. Don't bind yourself with the discipline of time. We don't look at we don't look at journaling as a way for our personal growth, our development, a long-term development. We look at it as an individual exercise which we are doing one day, and then we are going to get onto it maybe tomorrow or day after or later. And that's the problem, because ideally, if journaling is done the right way, the essence of it is to help us draw a pattern of our behaviors. So, this is especially true in cases of rejection, or when we are trying to map our own temperament, or we are trying to change our temperament. A lot of people who get angry very easily want to change their temperament from angry to being more calm and peaceful. So, when you're trying to understand your own behavior, it does require that kind of patience and consistency, which has to be looked at that way. And I say that journaling should be considered like knitting a sweater. So you don't have to keep constantly worry about, okay, I've done it today, when should I do it next? Whenever you feel like, pick it up from where you left it last, and just keep in mind that there's going to be something really pretty that's going to come out of it at the end. And it should be a pattern that you should be able to form, because remember, self journaling is nothing more than self healing. And if you are not looking at this activity as a growth activity, it's going to defeat the purpose. So don't look at it individually, but look at it as a pattern that you're going to create. Think of yourself as an artist when you are journaling. The other way of looking at journaling is a way of self-expression. In fact, I was watching a video of a psychologist few days back, and I loved how she called self-journaling as a way of self-expression, and which it is, because it's like a blank canvas, and you're trying to paint it and draw it with your own colors, your own palette. So that's what journaling is. It is an expression of your thoughts, your feelings, your moods, your behavior patterns, what you feel about other stakeholders around you. Should you change that? Should you not? So, if you think of your writing as a form of art or as a form of creativity, a sport, I think you're going to enjoy the process a lot more. There are so many of us who eventually become writers just by the process of self journaling, because we enjoy the process of creating our thoughts into words and eventually then forming it into story. So, well, that is not something that the goal of self journaling is, but I'm just telling you how you can also look at it as a creative activity to do, and then you're going to lift off all the unnecessary burden associated with self journaling. So now it's on you, and you owe it to me. I want you to get back to journaling if you have been doing it and you stopped for whatever reason. And if you haven't journaled until now, I want you to start doing it. And please remember to comment on this video and tell me how the experience is and how does it feel to get on the path of journaling. And I would love to answer your responses, answer any of your queries that you have. And thank you for watching this video and staying with me till the end. Take care.